they had instrument demonstrations coming around the classrooms. And I heard the trumpet again, and I was sure that this was exactly what I wanted to do. I remember running home and telling my parents about it. Uh, they helped me rent a trumpet, and I don't think the trumpet ever left my sight for the next 35 years. um, yeah, I really knew that that was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life at that moment. Hey guys, good morning. It's 7 a.m. I was trying to do an intro there, but then I was hearing a ton of feedback, so I don't think that's going to work. I'm still getting some feedback here. I think I need to put on headphones. Just a second. Just a second. 4 people in the room already. That's awesome. I'm still hearing myself in the headphones here. Advice for me? Echo cans on. How's the sound? Can, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, cool. Good morning. Good evening to my in the US. It's still kind of dark out here. This is usually when I leave to go for a walk, but I'd rather hang out with you guys and finish my time sheets. End of semester, lots of juries, performance classes, big concert coming up with the orchestra this week. How's everybody doing? Sorry, I'm still playing with the audio here a bit. Check 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Okay. My good microphone now. Yes, I just switched back to the Rode mic. It went to my earpods. But this is really distracting now because I'm hearing myself in my headphone. I'm not so good at this, guys. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we got 4 people. Where are you tuning in from? Oh, USA, cool. What do you want to talk about today? Hey, Logan, USA, cool. Hey, guys. Yeah, so this week we're doing Chike 5 with the big boss, Hans Graf. It's been a couple of years since I played that piece. It's a good piece. I like it. I really want to try to figure out how to get my voice out of my headphones. If anyone's used StreamYard before and they know why this is happening. Oh, I see. I see what's happening. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I had another window open with my actual YouTube live stream on there, and there was a delay. It was a disaster. It's over now. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Poland. Wow, 1 a.m. Cool. So yeah, guys, I'm just hanging out. Like I said, I usually go for a walk and every morning. Try to get the blood flowing, 55 in a month. So or less than a month. No, wait a second. Yeah, a little over a month, 55 years old. Freaks me out. Saw the recording of Stravinsky octet we did with Singapore Symphony. What do you think of the piece? How did you tackle it? I like the piece grew on me, I guess. Honestly, I wasn't a big fan when I first started studying it, but um, I mean, I'm principal trumpet. I have to play basically anything that I'm told to, so I had to figure it out. Um, like all Stravinsky, this stuff this tricky passages, and then there's stuff that you don't need to practice so much. So yeah, I went through the piece in my usual style. I went through it with a couple recordings and the score, and identified the passages that would definitely give me trouble, and I just played them slow and long with a metronome, slow and long. Even slowed down, I would double tongue, or if I was going to use a double tongue, I would play with a double tongue, but very connected, very long, and try to get the sensation of any passage to feel as close to a long tone as possible. But slow is the key. Even if you never get it up to tempo and only practice it slow, your chances will be better of nailing it in the faster tempo, even if you never played it fast until the concert. It's got something to do with this stuff called myelin, which is when you practice slowly, it coats the nerves or something. When you're practicing correctly but slow, it kind of galvanizes your muscle memory and makes you able to do it faster. I also sometimes I play left-handed. I find that helps a lot too, especially if I don't have a long time to practice. I'll try to practice some passages left-handed. So I want to share with you guys, since this is just a few of you in the room, I want to share some other stuff that I found here. We'll start off the morning with this. Let's see. What is this called? Okay. Yes, here we go.
The $110 trumpet. I will finish this with a little demo. One of my favorite old hymns, Mighty Fortress. that's where I'm at right now after a week of practice. And the one thing about this, I'd say I agree with the pros. This particular brand will give a lot of bang for the buck. And if you're wanting to continue to ride along with the journey, you're welcome to subscribe.
Okay, guys. So this is a great example of how social media enables everybody to have a platform. It's kind of like, thanks, guys. I see the questions. I'll get to them in a second. But it's like, you remember the old days when flying used to be only, it used to be expensive. So only like, certain people could fly. And then these budget airlines came up. And now even like we have one here in Asia, it's called Air Asia. And their motto is, now everybody can fly. And when I see that, I sometimes think, I kind of preferred it when everyone couldn't fly. And this is like social media, like everybody has a platform. All you need is a Gmail address, and you can start your own TV channel. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I'm pretty sure it's not when it comes to misinformation. The thing is, the video that I just played, this guy also has many trumpet tutorial videos. Maybe we'll get into some of those later. Let me get to the questions here. How about volume? When we learn a new roll, we generally sing forte until it is sung in. What about trumpet? It's a good question. Again, I feel like volume and the illusion of volume, the illusion of loud is when it comes to trumpet playing or brass playing, I think is more of a playing into the resonance. It's not necessarily moving a ton of air. Again, like the trumpet mouthpiece all the air is going through this hole, So like, how much air are you really going to get through that? Not much. So you can't really shove a ton of air through it. So it's the way that I do it anyways, is I try to think about resonance and exactly how I would sing if I was an actual singer. Or like I said in a different video, I prepare my body like I'm going to yell to my friend across the street, or like my friend is like a football field away and I want to project my voice. It's that feeling that you get just before you're going to call out to that person. Like it's not really tension, but it's active. You become really active in your midsection. Like it's like an athletic feeling. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry, I can't really explain exactly what it is, but it's a level of support and preparation to project my voice. It's exactly the same, I feel. Like when I'm going to come in on a high C in a Mahler symphony or something like that, I don't breathe huge. I'm not like sucking all the air out of the room or anything like that, but I breathe conversationally, especially for high notes, because they take less air than low notes. That's another very misunderstood thing. People taking a huge breath before they have to play a high note, and that's why some people pass out when they do it. I don't take a huge breath, but I have like a lot of active stuff going on in my torso, ready to like fire that air at a high speed. And making sure that the shape inside of my mouth is also correct to create the sound that I'm already hearing in my head before I play, which is the real key, I think, to be able to really hear in high definition how you want to sound before you make the sound. I hope that helps. And I would love you to contribute some of your how you guys do it as singers. I would love to have that insight. If you want to share here, that'd be great. Wojciech, John, how important do you think rest is when it comes to practicing rest inside the practice session? Do you have any rule or scheme? in general, in the first like 15 minutes of playing, what I find works really well. I mean, if you're in a practice session, I would say to rest as long as you play. So as long as it takes you to play an exercise, I would rest for that long and then start playing again and rest for that long again, probably for the first 10 or 15 minutes of your session. And just like if you were lifting weights or something, it's it gets the muscle warmed up. It doesn't overtax tax the muscle, and it's kind of a very friendly um, friendly way to get things going. And then after 10 or 15 minutes, you can push the rest, start compressing down the rest intervals. What's my favorite Mahler symphony to listen to play? My favorite Mahler symphony to listen to, I still think I still think it's Mahler 5. I just think it's such an amazing piece. Um, yeah, I mean, I really like 7. 2 is amazing. We're playing in 2 next year. Our season schedule just came out for next year. We're doing Mahler 2 again, and it's just like that's a really amazing piece to play too. Um, but I think like in Mahler's Fifth Symphony, it's like the most drama and excitement you could possibly pack into the amount of space that that symphony takes up. I think it's one of the shorter symphonies compared to like 2 or 7. I've never played 8 and I've never played 4. I've played all of the other ones, including 10 a couple times, but that doesn't really count because Mahler didn't really write that. And some of the orchestrations are just completely ridiculous and not anything he would have written anyways. Um, First and second trumpet coming in on high D's and stuff like that. It's a cool piece, but I'm happy if I don't have to play 10 again. 5 and 1. I still like Mahler 1. I think it's unbelievably brilliant. You know? And Mahler 3 is great too, but it's not in my it's not in my top 2. Same as the voice, is the color that matters. Yeah, it's a color thing, you know what I mean? Like resonance. Um, like if I pull out my tuning slide further than I should have it out, and then I'm playing in the upward part of the partial, then I lose all that vibrancy and resonance off the sound, and then I get a push, and there's more resistance, and the sound isn't as good. It's just you put where you tune your horn, where you put that tuning slide, I think is like the most underrated um, thing, and it's just never talked about, and it's probably causing the most problems is just having your tuning slide in the wrong spot. No matter how experienced of a player you might be or how long you've been playing, sometimes just having that slide out just even the tiniest bit too far is going to tire you out and rob you of valuable projection and resonance. You can sum it up with voice, maximum resonance, open throat with minimum effort. Yeah, totally. Cool. Yeah, we're totally the same. Totally the same. Totally the same. That's cool. I know there's a lot of teachers that are always making these comparisons between trumpet and voice, but I was really interested to hear you say specific things like this. So I just got a new Park mouthpiece in the mail a couple of weeks ago. I've talked about how I suspect that I have this metal allergy that comes and goes. But this is a really good mouthpiece for what it is. I mean, these nylon bold mouthpieces are better than I thought they could be, but I still feel like they miss some very important characteristics that that I really want to have in the orchestra. So um, I just got a new Park mouthpiece, 650, 275, 25 throat, and I'm really loving it. I'm using it this week. Yeah, the Bodies Concert Hall. Check this out, guys. I'll just share this.
Concert hall here where the sound should be happening is very tight. We don't want to play like that. The psych.
This is
And
Greg
it's all very
Spence.
hard work and it's all very closed off. And the Body's concert hall here where the sound should be happening is very tight. We don't want to play like that. The psychology about how the body instrument system works is generally confused because, believe it or not, I call it the tickle spot, the bottom of this bottom lip here, the inside wet bit, and the milk spout exercise of getting the air through the lips, the energy through the lips. Then we use our aperture corners, and the top lip is just like a bed sheet responding.
Yeah, I really like Greg. I really like his stuff a lot. Let's see. A famous trumpet player pushing a wood mouthpiece. What is that? I think Adam Rappa of Lotus Trumpets is making a wood mouthpiece, and I've heard of these before. I mean, he's not the first to make a wood mouthpiece. I've heard other people, including my old teacher Roger Vazan, I think, experimented with wood mouthpieces for a while. I've never played one. I think it's bizarre, and I don't think I'll try it. Why not? But like, I don't think it would. I'm kind of a traditional person, I guess, and I like to play stuff that's proven in the orchestra and stuff that my idols play on. So basically, the equipment I play is basically exactly like what the pioneers of the modern orchestra sound play on, like Bud Herseth and Phil Smith. Just a standard. I guess you'd call it a mass-produced horn, although they were playing like Mount Vernon Bach trumpets, which were mostly handmade at the time. And Bach is supposedly coming out with some very exciting stuff in the near future. But yeah, I like to play like, a 1 1/4 size mouthpiece or a 1C with a standard rig. You know what I mean? Like anything that doesn't get the job done is probably my fault. Any advantages to the wood mouthpiece? I'm not sure, mate. Like I need to try it first, and it's really hard to get stuff out here. Nobody's carrying it in stock for me to try here, so it will definitely have a different sound. What do I think about taking long breaks from playing trumpet, especially for preventing injury? I'm a huge believer in taking breaks. But for a long time, I wasn't a believer in taking breaks because I didn't really have a really good grip on what I was doing. And in that case, like breaks can also be helpful because like you can fall out of alignment for a number of reasons, and maybe taking a break will help you come back fresh. And back to the fundamentals and sound production and stuff like that. I'm a huge believer in long breaks. So I take a lot more time off than I ever expected to be able to take off. And usually it only helps as long as I leave myself the right amount of time to get back into like a performance condition. Like our season ends at the end of May, and I will probably take 2 to 3 weeks off of June. I'm probably not going to play or buzz a mouthpiece for the first 3 weeks of June. And then when I come back to it, it'll be, I won't have like the endurance, but like I'll be excited to come back to it because with my schedule and stuff, the orchestra playing a lot and teaching a lot, I play in a lot of my lessons. I play in all the lessons a lot. So, the trumpet is basically in my hands whenever I'm not sleeping or driving a motorcycle. So taking a few weeks off, I don't feel guilty about it. And it only makes things better in the long run. So I totally support that. I listen to your body and always try to put the horn away while it still feels good. you know, if you have a good day on the horn, don't just keep playing and playing and playing until it doesn't feel good anymore. You know, like definitely try to put the horn away while it still feels good. That's really good advice that I got from Jeff Kernow, who is the associate principal trumpet in Philadelphia. He used to play in the Empire Brass. Good question. Okay, I'll just share this with you guys while we're waiting for more questions. This guy's doing a technique.
I'll give a, instead of this exercise long enough where I've used the rest times, if I go too far in it, the rest times will detract from this. So I'll do mostly excerpts when I go through this spec. I'll be going through the first exercise, just a few measures of it.
Are you guys able to hear the
First
audio?
one is basically
This
lip slur exercises with the partials of the different vowel positions. Yeah, the rest times takes the horn off the face.
okay. I'm going to spare you guys the rest of that. But like, come on, like, what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's good for people to just be able to post stuff like that? I mean, like, of course, I see this and I know that it's incorrect, right? But like, what about a young person? I mean, it should be rated like mature audiences only or something. Like, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's good for everybody to have a platform. I think I like the old days when, like, before the social media and um not before the internet, but before, like, everybody could have a channel and a website and a page and all this stuff. But when you actually had to establish yourself in a way that your credibility had to, like, travel, like, organically throughout the world through normal mediums of communication. And I mean, anybody can get on here and say they've got it all figured out. It's scary, man. Scary. Off topic, what's my favorite brand of bubble tea? I do love bubble tea, but honestly, like, I'm really off sugar. Um whatever the basic one is that has like the normal, like, chewy things at the bottom of it. I mean, I love bubble tea and I love sugar, but I haven't had any in months or years maybe. I'm strict lion diet. I eat like one steak a day. Um, and that's pretty much it. Yes. Okay, good. So somebody agrees. Wagner Tenor agrees. Like, you know, not everybody should have a platform. I don't think it should be earned. Also, anyone can sound great on recording, but live in the house is another matter. Yeah, many singers sound bad on recording, but great in the house. Yeah. I mean, it's like I grew up in the age of like Super 8 films, you know, where they didn't even have sound. My mother had all these home movies of us with no sound. And then the first camcorder came out. And, like, you know, home movies for your own private viewing and all that stuff. But like to be able to just spew whatever you basically want. Like, I could start a channel and say, you know, the mouthpiece works best here. You know what I mean? And maybe, you know, most people wouldn't believe it, but somebody would try it. You know what I mean? It's weird. And it's not going to change either. Like, we're past the tipping point. The internet is not going to go away. Like YouTube's not going away. It's just going to get, and then AI, you know, we're in weird, uncharted waters, folks. I'm going to make another coffee. I'll keep watching the questions. Seven people. What up? Starting to get light out here finally. When I was a student in London, the only way to hear people is to go to live concerts. I believe it helped develop an ear for style sound. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's such a double-edged sword, right? Like YouTube and social media, because we can access all this amazing stuff that we wouldn't be able to before. But then again, there's also this ocean of bullshit coming at us, and misinformation, and it's really, like I said, it's weird times, guys. Weird times. What's my favorite thing about Singapore outside of music? Least favorite? That's a good question. My favorite thing about Singapore is everything works. Well, I have a few favorite things about Singapore. I mean, many, actually. The weather in the tropics is the best for me. I'm not a snow person, and it's like 30 to 32 degrees every day here, and Celsius. Sorry, I'm converted to metric now. I think that's like 80 something degrees every day. I love the hot weather. It keeps me from getting like fat, you know. When I'm in cold weather, I just want to eat and drink and go directly to sleep. I love hot weather. I love going out and being in the sun. But Singapore specifically, I mean, it's like everything works here. You hear a lot of stories about, you know, how strict the rules are here and stuff, and it's true. Like chewing gum is illegal here. They don't even sell it anywhere. But there's also no chewing gum on the sidewalk, and you know, people's teeth are better and all that. Let's see what else I like about it. I mean, just everything is organized, everything works. I'm not going to say the people are polite here. It's a very kind of like robotic place to live. People are chasing status and money. You know, it's like in the top 4 most expensive countries in the world. So no matter what kind of house somebody lives in, they're driving like a BMW or a Lamborghini or something just so they can show up to work and look like they're making it. It's just, you know, if you say good morning to people on the street, most of them will just look at you like you got 3 heads. So those are things that I don't like about the place. But it's safe, you know, it's clean, super clean. It's just safe, you know what I mean? Like you're not in any fear here for your physical safety or theft, you know, people stealing stuff, although it does happen. Um, you know, people aren't getting murdered and raped, and just it's kind of like living in Disneyland. um, it's just a lovely place to come home to. It's a great place to work. You know, my work culture is really great here. You know, the management's really on top of making sure that situations like the ones we're reading about online are not even possible here. It's really sad to hear about all that stuff, but yeah, it's a safe, predictable, lovely country with a lot of character, but the people are a bit robotic and not friendly. I mean, I go to the Philippines where, it's like it's a third world country. That's what they call it, right? It's a developing country where people have very little and they're so much happier and so much more friendly. It's amazing. Great place to work. Vehicles are crazy expensive here. But everything you need is here. And it's like super close to, it's a couple hours flight to Bangkok. It's a couple hours flight to Vietnam. It's, right next to Indonesia. You can take a ferry to Indonesia. You can take a ferry to Malaysia. It's just, the whole country's like the size of Rhode Island, so it doesn't take long to get anywhere. Food's awesome here. I mean, I love Asian food. So back before I went on this steak thing, I used to enjoy all the noodles and stuff, rice dishes and all that stuff. Definitely worth seeing if you're ever in Asia. Definitely check out Singapore. It's a one-of-a-kind place. It's the national security here is amazing. It's arguably in between the two most, governmentally corrupt countries in Southeast Asia, Malaysia and Indonesia, arguably. And there's, it's like Los Angeles in the middle of Southeast Asia without all the drug addiction, crime, and filth. So let's see what else I can share. Yeah. So, well, I'm waiting for more people to come in the room. I'll just share some random stuff that I like. So this guy I've been following on YouTube, his name is Sten Ekberg. I don't know if you guys follow these kinds of channels or not, but everything this guy has ever said about food and health has been spot on, and I've gotten unbelievable results from just about everything he's ever posted. And he does all these weird experiments, like in this one, he eats like 100 hamburgers in 10 days. And this guy's a former Olympian and triathlete, and he's pretty funny. He's got like a dry sense of humor. He's a pretty funny guy.
I'm going to talk about what happened when I ate 100 hamburgers in 10 days. And that's a lot of red meat. And according to conventional wisdom, red meat is a bad thing. It's bad for your health. It causes all sorts of problems. So I wanted to eat a lot of it and see what would happen, because it has saturated fat and a lot of cholesterol. And supposedly that causes inflammation, it causes heart disease, and it causes diabetes. So I did some blood work before and after to measure these things, and we're going to take a look at how that changed. So some of the blood work regards blood glucose and kidney function. So a couple of markers here would be hemoglobin A1C, which is a measurement of—
So guys, this guy basically debunks all the bullshit that we've been brainwashed to believe about food and stuff. And like every video this guy puts out is spot on. So if anybody out there is looking to feel better and to have less inflammation, I can tell you firsthand, I'm down 12 kilograms just from going on this elimination diet. Basically, eating as much red meat as I want to, and I feel amazing. And I lost a lot of weight, and I'm still losing. And I'm not like restricting my diet at all. Okay. Ever get to work with two-set violin? No, but I know who they are. They've collaborated with SSO, some SSO people. I got to turn on the aircon. It's already getting hot here. It's like 20 minutes of 8 in my apartment. It's already heating up, guys. Yeah, the two set violin guys are based here, and they do collaborate with some of my colleagues, but I don't think I've ever met them personally. Yeah, but this guy, Sten Ekberg, I highly recommend his channel if you're looking to, if you feel like shit and you don't know why, and you know, you've tried exercising more and drinking more water and all that stuff, and it's not working, you might want to try an elimination diet and basically just get on, you know, beef for a week and just see how you feel. But this guy basically ate 100 hamburgers in 10 days. And all of his numbers were better. All of his, and he does like major blood work. Like he's got all his results up here. And all of his numbers improved from eating 100 hamburgers in 10 days. It's like the opposite of what I was told growing up, the whole food pyramid and stuff like that. I spent so much time fat and I didn't need to. It's really upsetting. Anyway, any other questions, guys? I can hang out here until like 9 o'clock. I'm just like working on my timesheet and stuff for school. See if there's any other videos that I can share with you guys. Asia is paradise for good, healthy food. Yes, it absolutely is, Renee. I totally agree. I mean, you can eat bad here. I mean, we got fast food here, but it's so easy to eat well here for cheap. For like $4, you can get stuffed on like proper home cooked style food, you know. Let's see here. There's another channel that is up and coming that I really like. I like this guy's style. If I can find it here. Oh, here's another one I can share with you guys. Wait a second. This is the wrong one.
With your chest up and you fill up, right? Naturally, make a set. Actually, I've been having much success lately.
Thanks for stopping in, Wagner Tanner. Have a good one.
Sound in their breath because it does a couple of things. It engages the corners. Most people play with a very floppy embouchure because they're making the big sound and using a lot of air. They play with the floppy embouchure. It doesn't work.
What do you mean by floppy? Could you
like soft, mushy, instead of together?
Gotcha.
You know, when you hear Doc Schitzer's recordings, you can hear every breath he takes. He's like, every single one. And he's right on top of the sound.
Yeah.
Right on top. So he has his voice. You see, when you play on top of the sound, then once you figure out how to play there, the beauty of playing on top of the sound is if you stay in that taper zone where the taper lives, where the note really is alive and lives, you can brutalize the note.
Yeah.
and you can brutalize the note and not have it come apart. It turns to flame. It turns to burn.
Mhm.
And when it turns to burn, that's a green light. It's
Right,
like
right.
that's awesome. Because then again, you know, Jimmy up in front smiles. I used to play as loud as I could sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and it was just right.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Because the tone was still beautiful instead of going, ah.
What are some of these other misconceptions that are
Okay.
commonly taught? You just
Okay.
mentioned the breathing.
All right. There are three things. Breathe down low.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna have this ready to go because I love this. I love
Say
I love
or oh.
I love the way that Pandolfi explains this stuff. Let's have a look at that. We have a new question. Any fun or interesting experiences with Malaysian wildlife? Malaysian wildlife, like you mean like bats and stuff like that, or what? Not real. Monkeys, yeah. I guess I have. I mean, we played golf in Malaysia, and the monkey would run out in the middle of the fairway and grab your ball. Like you'd hit this awesome shot, like right in the middle of the fairway, and then this monkey would blast out of the jungle and pick up the ball and then run off with it. And then while you chased after him trying to get the ball back, his friend would go in the golf buggy and take your wallet and sunglasses. It's honest to God, it really happened. But yeah, it definitely happens.
Inside your mouth. Oh.
As you're breathing in.
Oh.
As you're breathing in?
No, as you're setting, as like when you're producing the tone, say oh,
Oh, I see.
to make a big sound.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's the third thing? Oh yeah, use more air. That's the problem solver. Use more air. So we have teaching for years and years that says breathe down low, say R or O, and when you run into problems, use more air.
Uh-huh.
It's all wrong, all of it. You got to breathe naturally.
Yeah.
And you have to say E. All the time. You have
All
to
the
say
time.
E all the time. You know, in the Armin book, it says the pronunciation, right? It says 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Gordon in Seattle, the principal trumpet of Seattle, reminded me that it's a French book. The
Right.
Armin's book is a French book, and indeed,
Yeah.
the pronunciation for 2 is chi,
Yeah.
chi, chi. Now you say that chi, 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 and what happens is it creates a V in your tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chi, and the tip of your tongue goes down behind your bottom teeth,
Yeah.
and your tongue turns into a V, and it goes forward.
Yeah.
Tongue forward. That's what everyone has to do. That's where high notes come. That's where efficiency comes.
This is my favorite brass video of all times. This interview with Brass Chats, episode 29, guys. If like anybody's like wanting to get all the answers to trumpet playing, I think that Jim like nails this video big time. Big time. What are my encounters with local folk music in Asia? Well, Singapore has a full-time Chinese orchestra that's just they have a concert hall that's just very near the Esplanade where we play. And then we have Singapore has 3 primary races here. There's Indian, there's Malay, and then there's Chinese, and they all have like their different. They have. Sorry, I just got a message. Yeah, they all have their different, cultures and stuff, but they all this is the other thing, getting back to the other question, what I love about Singapore is like how multicultural it is, but everybody gets along. I'm not saying that there's no like racism here, but like it's not on the radar at all compared to where I used to live. True, had to watch this in the 90s. Voice scientists told me 95% of professional singers over support. Yes, I totally agree. Same with trumpet players, shoving your gut through the trumpet, right?
Efficiency comes from.
Yeah.
So again, breathe down low, say oh, and use more air. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. You do one of them, you can't play. You do all three of them, they're trifecta. You complete basket case. So,
which is what most people do. Yeah.
what most people do.
Yeah.
So, I've had people tell me, it's about where the note lives, where the sweet spot is.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, I would have never, ever in a million years thought to look on top of the sound to find the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought in a million years because everyone says centered. And then some people say that the sweet spot is on the bottom of the sound. So you get a little, but that's not the trumpet. The trumpet should be sounding like a trumpet. It's got to be brilliant. And you got to come in on the white horse and take some heads, swing the sword once in a while.
Could you give me an example of just so
I love
people could
this.
see it on camera of just a setup, a breath and an air attack, just right here without a trumpet?
You see, when I was at the Met, I would always, especially when I had something that was important for me to play, that I was nervous about, I would always finish my breaths through my nose.
Oh, really?
It did. It was an insurance policy.
Joel
for me.
has a horn here if you want to.
Okay.
If you want
awesome. It was an insurance policy for me that I would have the right resistance, the proper setup and the resistance and the support. And it gave me time to get my lip in the mouthpiece.
Yep.
And that's what I would do. So you see, more and more, I'm trying to get guys to breathe through their face instead, like the whole thing. Breathe through your nose, breathe through the corners of your mouth. So it's like.
So you took the last bit through your nose there. Yeah.
Yeah,
in essence, what you're going for is you want the inhale to be roughly the same as the exhale.
Well, that brings me to a point.
Okay. Good.
That brings me to a great point because I'll ask guys when they come here, do you have a physical sensation of air leaving your body when you're playing? They're like, yeah. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Do you have a physical sensation of air leaving your body when you're speaking? Right? I just finished the sentence and I was completely out of air.
Yeah.
Take another breath. But do I feel it going out as I'm speaking? No. The only way that the air comes out of your body is through the resonance and the ring of your tone, of your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to speak like most people play the trumpet, it would sound something like this because they blow on every goddamn.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm not going to hijack the whole video from that. You can see this on Brass Chats, episode 29. Really amazing video about how it should feel to play the trumpet. Again, like I couldn't possibly say it better than this guy. And since I've got only precious time here, guys, and there's only 2 of you in the room, I think I'm going to shut it down. We did an hour. I'm going to probably hold off for another couple of weeks before I do another one of these and give people time to think of some stuff they want to talk about. But I'm going to take advantage of this hour that I have before I have to go to work to maybe get out and do a little walking before work. So thanks for tuning in and joining me. And I guess you guys, have a good night. Have a good sleep. And I'm going to get ready to start my day here. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. See you soon.